Kenny, I spent 50,000 just to furnish this 800 square feet 3-bedroom to a beautiful and comfortable unit. I want you to find me a tenant that will take care of this place. So I don't want this place to be wrecked. I spent so much money on it. The moment you tell me that this statement, the next question I usually ask you is that this is your first property, and most of you will answer yes. This is your first rental property. Most of you will answer yes. This is how I know it's your first time. Okay? So I totally understand where you come from because you spend so much money. I myself, a landlord and an investor. Okay? So let me share you the times I spend so much money, and the times things that they don't tell you about property investing, and when it comes to property investing and what to do about it. My suggestion, or at least. First thing, a lot of people, they tell you, because they tell you it's like the installment, then the maintenance fee, the taxes you need to pay, or the electricity bills, water bill, everything, these are the costs that you need to pay. The loans, maintenance fee if you rent out, okay, and then you need to pay your taxes, your assessment tax, your parcel rent, your creek rent, all these landlord you need to pay. But what they don't tell you is that maintaining a property once it's damaged costs a lot of money. So instead of adding money into your pocket, this property can actually drain you. But the thing is that you don't feel it, because unlike a negative cash flow, you feel it every month. That also people dilly-dally procrastinate to sell. But when renovation come, you need to spend one lump sum, so much money. You really very painful. Case in point, like I rented out my property to student, foreigner master student. I rented out few years to foreigners. Actually, a lot of my tenants are foreigners last time. I hold the property for 14 years. There's a few years where it's local, and there's few years where foreigners are renting my property. So I rented out to this country, same country. I rented out first, second year, no problem. The third year, got problem. The third year, change tenant, I got problem. So what's the problem? It was my mistake also. So here's my mistake. Once the tenant moved out, right, I trusted the agent, because the agent has been with me for about few years. Every time and before the rental over, I find him to renew the tenancy, to find me a new tenant, right? So everything also he handled for me. I just pay him extra money to handle the property. Like, let's just say there's any like repairs or what, I always give him extra on, because I asked him to arrange. I also want him to earn, so I gave him extra. I paid him extra for his time. Okay. Yeah, I know he doesn't go and open the door for the plumber or for the electrician to go in. No lah. He just make an arrangement, and I pay him extra for his time. On top of that, the plumber, the handyman, all I pay. Okay. So this is small expenses. So when the tenant was moved out that day, right, this was my first mistake. I didn't check properly the post inspection. Then I returned back the security deposit. The tenant was chasing the agent, chasing agent up and down. And then agent also chased me. From morning until evening, was chasing me. Just telling me to give back the security deposit because he's flying off at that day itself at night. Morning, give key, at night, one security deposit. You imagine that? And then the agent can nicely agree. I also didn't know anything. I nicely agree. So I asked the agent, did you actually check the unit? Everything okay or not? Oh, okay lah, everything okay one. I should be okay. Everything later I check. Okay, say okay lah, never mind. I just return back. I returned back about 5,000 lah, based on deposit. Then the electricity after that, it still have, right. So I returned back about 5,000. Then the next day, few days after that, I went to the unit because I got a key. I went to the unit. No what happened. The unit was so wrecked. The whole house is filled with rubbish. I called the agent. I said, is this what you mean by okay? Who's going to pay for all this mess? The agent was, but this is what I respect. I was actually yelling at him over the phone. I told him, you are my agent or his agent. Why are you chasing me? from morning to night, you were chasing me, asking me to deposit, right? Now who's going to pay for this? I am the one paying your commission, and this is what you do. This is the third year, we are working together. It's not the first time you are working with me. And I treat you also very well, right? I only find you, my house empty for 3 months. You are the only agents that I find to rent out my property. And this is how you treat me. Okay? I told him over the phone. I was so pissed off. I told him first. So one thing, okay, he was apologizing. Then he said, okay, never mind. This is my fault, so I pay. I said, never mind. You are done. Okay? You are done. Next, I don't want to give you to rent out anymore. You are done. You find I find another agent myself, and I find my own cleaner. The whole house took just to clear the rubbish. Haven't cleaned the mop floor or even cleaned the fridge or anything like that. Took that one already 600 ringgit. Gone me 600 ringgit. Then I have to hire a cleaner to mop the house, clean the fridge, because the contractor came just to clear the rubbish only. 600 bucks, the whole house. And they found everything. They even found condoms on the floor, underneath the bed. I was asking my agent, this is what they found. Okay. So there it was like 600 bucks, then plus the feeding fees, everything. It easily set me back about 2,000. And it's not much. Every month the rental extra that time was able to cover. Because I bought the property back in 2010. So my installment is quite low. And before I refinance, right, my installment is actually very low, and so the rental can actually cover the installment and also have extra. So this extra was covered. Okay. Then there's 1 year, the kitchen cabinet, right, after use, you see the tenant in use, right, they don't really take care of the place one. You don't expect them to. So the water goes into the wood board, right? The wood board. So half of my kitchen cabinet, right, it expanded, kembang, I could say. Okay? So you can see the patches of water. So I had to replace the half. Lucky the contractor, what I told them, they replaced half the kitchen cabinet. You know that half that kitchen cabinet itself changed to melamine and all, plus the door, everything, the hinges. That one cost me 8,000. 8,000, That one haven't include there's a bathtub in the master room. Last time there's a bathtub. Then the sealant on the side, right? Wear and tear over the years, the sealant you don't seal. There's a gap, right? Between this is the bathtub. Can you imagine this is the bathtub, right? So there's a sealant here. And then this is the rest of the bathtub, right? So the sealant here, over the years, it wear off lah. It's normal wear and tear. But what I didn't go and bother to actually do a seal back, So water seep in and go underneath the bathtub. It became like the bathtub, right? All underneath, all got mold. So everything got mold. The side there all got mold. Down there also got mold. So what I did was that I removed the whole bathtub, remodeled the whole toilet. So from the bathtub, it just break and flat lah. Okay. Then that one also cost me another 1,000 something. That year was like very painful. Not finished yet, 9,000 plus, not finished yet. After that, right, we found out the restroom, the master room restroom, the gap in between the toilet, right, already wear off. So water is seeping into the cracks. Okay. This one I really cannot afford. I asked the contractor for a quote. Then give me another few thousand. I was like, just to seal the master room. Along the way, I was like, okay, I think I better just do this myself. You know what I did? I go and buy my own sealant. In a hardware shop. I asked around now for a brand. I go and do the sealing myself. In the whole day, I was in the bathroom wearing goggles, mask, and seal myself. The whole day. Okay. That prior to that, right? I also had to replace the door. This is the door. This is the master room, right? The floor is actually wooden. So this is the toilet, right? So between the floor and toilet, this wood, this is what's cement or concrete. So in between, like when you bathe, right, the water slowly sit in over the years. My that part of my wooden floor also bond, so I replace it with a tile. Okay, so that one cost me around 600. So over the years, right, whatever gains that is being gotten from the property, or just one repair, wipe off. This is a very common thing that you will see in property investing, and a lot of people actually won't tell you this. They want to estimate also cannot, because we don't know to what extent the damage will be. I give you a case in point. Like I mentioned in this, you can see in this video, right? On this channel, I've also handled units where it needs major refurbishment because the tenant actually wrecked the place and the operator went MIA, just left. Okay, he didn't return the deposit, so the tenant was not happy. They wrecked the place, and I've shown you in this video how the place looked like. So that two units, right, the landlords are respectively, one unit they spend 20,000. 20,000 just to refurbish the whole place to be tenantable again. If you don't spend that 20,000, that whole place cannot be tenanted. Okay? So it's either you spend or you continue bleeding. Can you be in this kind of situation and still come out on top? If you can, that property investing is for you. Okay? So back to the same question, what request that the landlords have. Then they will tell me, oh, Kenny, this kind of people at this place, from this country, I don't want. I got bad experience. Okay, fair enough. So I get you other tenant for other countries. Those are okay, but the rental lower. Oh, rental too low. Cannot cover my installment. Or not, you do partial furniture, but I can get you locals lah. Other tenants, locals love partial furnish. They can stay longer term. This is the rate. Wow, cannot too low lah, Kenny. I spend so much money on renovation and then my loan some more. Then cannot be too low lah. Then I asked back, so what do you want me to do now? What do you want me to do? Oh, he said, can you just, I want a high price, but I want this perfect tenant, this perfect 10 out of 10 tenant. Can Can. But you can wait or not? Now I don't have. But I already got this. Can lah, can wait. Can wait, then I wait. I list it for you. Okay? That's, at the end of the day, it's really up to the landlord. You can wait lah. I list it for you. Last time, what I do is I'll argue. You want this price? Cannot get lah. I'll argue. Now no more. Save the energy. Move forward. Okay? And I could be wrong. And I have been wrong. But okay? So I said, okay, so you want me to do this? So I list it like that. Let's just say, for example, the market rate, only certain foreigners or certain countries, they can pay 4,000 example. But others, maybe they pay slightly lesser, 3,500. Or even then lesser is partial furnished is 2,500. Too far difference, cannot cover your installment. You say cannot cover your installment. You need 4,000. Okay, so at least at 4,000 and try. Then when I get that kind of profile, I know you don't want, then I don't suggest to you. Then some of the landlords will come and ask me back, Kenny, you got no prospect for me. I say the prospect I got, but you don't want, that's all. Okay? So Kenny, can you continue finding? Yes, of course. I can continue finding. But you have to remember that there's a lot of things that I can't control. You and I, both, we can't control. We can't control what is going to happen to that place. Who's coming in, the demographic changes, immigration into the area. I give you a case in point. If you buy a place, then suddenly the university say, hey, we are building a campus right beside your new development, your house. You will expect your tenant is students, right? Then I said, don't want to rent the student to wreck the place. Yes, you can. But you have to wait for other tenants to come in. And if the place has many students, what do you expect? The place will be quite rowdy, right? Because students, they're naturally rowdy. They are campers and they make, in some cases, they make noise at night. They have parties at night, these kind of things. So do you really think, let's just say you target, I want professionals only. The professionals that you target, even though you lower the rent, do you really think they will stay at that place where students a lot and they cannot sleep and they're getting disturbed? They won't. Okay? You can't control that place. That place, the demand will be students. Okay? The same goes to places where you buy, like now, near LRT, MRT. If you buy near LRT and MRT, right beside, or your station is a TOD, everything use TOD now, you expect most of the buyers, there will be investors. And if you don't rent to these people, but you still expect higher rent, then things may be difficult for you. It's not that cannot, but things may be difficult for you. If you can wait it out, just wait it out. Okay? If you cannot wait it out, just take it. But Kenny, I spend so much of this on this renovation. This 2 months deposit, 2 months credit deposit guarantee cannot cover. Yes, I agree with you. Guarantee cannot cover. This 2 months deposit is nothing. Remember the case where my customer spent 20,000 on the unit? You think the 2 months deposit can cover? No. So what's the choice you have? Choice you have is to be prepared here and financially, mentally and financially. That's all. You can't control. If you are the one that is more desperate, right? You take in first. Then prepare yourself. You prepare at least another 20,000 just to refurbish the whole place again when they go out. Okay? Of course, you will forfeit the deposit, and with valid reasons. Don't simply forfeit people deposit. But we will go to that in the next video, in another video. So what you can do is to prepare that money for this outcome. In case it goes south, it really goes south, it's very bad. You have two choices. That 20,000, right? Example, however much you can save 20 to 30,000 just to get it back to tenantable condition, refurbishment. You save that much, you have two options. Number one, you continue refurbishing it and rent out as fully furnished, but you avoid people from this country. Avoid people with this kind of profile. Okay, like example, you don't want students. Okay, students don't want. You don't want this country. Okay, never mind, don't want. Okay, you can do that. So second one, you can tear down the furniture, throw everything, clear it up, then do it as partial furnish. Whatever that is less that is there that can be used still in good condition, just remain it and rent out. Lower price, much lower price. Okay, then you can get a local tenant that you can talk, and local tenant perhaps better, right? Easier because they understand the culture and all this. So those are your choices. But then if you come and tell me, Kenny, cannot lah. If I got this rent before, then now I drop my rent, I cannot cover my loan. Then we'll be going back to square one, the first situation. You decide yourself. This is to the extent that I can advise, and I advise my client all the same way. The first year you got a high rent, you can grab. Then be prepared mentally and financially. If they wreck the place some more, don't let them come in. Okay? Find somebody else, wait. But to wait, you need holding power. You need money. Or you can wait and then reduce the rent by giving a partial furnished unit. No problem. But that time, when you do fully furnished, everything is there. So you need to spend maybe on the kitchen cabinet, the aircon. Then the furnitures, if you did not do built-in, then it's okay. If you do built-in, then you do need to repair and make it into a tenantable condition. If others are loose, right, things that is loose, just throw and replace with new one. Alright? Sell to a second-hand shop or throw to the dumpster. If it's really too bad, just throw. scrap it, take the loss, and move on. The most important is to reduce the time between the renovation, between the vacancy. Reduce your vacancy period. The longer you leave vacant, the more you're going to lose and the harder to recover. All right. So you might be thinking, Kenny, wow, this one are very realistic, realistic and very straight to the point. And you'll be right. When I share with you, right, these solutions, right, it requires, logically, you know it's the right one, but emotionally it's very hard. So it's all numbers. At the end of the day, it's all numbers. Investment is all about numbers. But to get to that point, you do need to rationalize for yourself. This is an investment. This is an investment. So these are the numbers. So I'm trying to reduce my vacancy period. And there's a lot of things I can't control. If it's really too frustrating, too hard to manage your property, when time comes or when you have enough money, most of this now you have to top up to sell. Just sell. Okay? Cut your losses and go on to other things. Cut your losses. Okay? If it's really too bad, you cannot take it, you cannot take the stress, don't ever go and buy a second one. Just cut your losses. Pick your money. Plug the losses as much as you can. Take your extra money, go and invest in other asset class that will grow. Okay? Grow faster and bigger. So that's all for me. This is Kenny here from Property Stories. I hope this video, right, give you some ideas, especially when it comes to property investing in your rental. Yeah, we all know investing should be just numbers, purely numbers. But we can never separate emotions because we are human. I understand where you're coming from. I myself spend so much money, it's painful for me as well. So I hope that you take this, what I've shared with you, as a lesson. Okay? As a lesson that you can never be 100% sure. And this is something you can never be 100% sure. Okay? You cannot be sure who's going to rank your place. Yeah, you can check your background and all this, but once they go in, you don't know who are they. All right? You don't know how they're going to behave. Okay? And there's so many things you can't be sure. You can't be sure that your tenant halfway won't lose the job and then need to break the clause and go back to the hometown or go back. It happens to one of my clients. Now they're negotiating. They have to break the tenancy early. They have to leave early because their business back in their home country is doing very badly. So they have to go back. So they have to emergency have to go back. You can't control all this, right? There's so many things we as investors can't control. But what we can control is emotions. Okay? When it comes to property investing or when it comes to any investing, we should be objective, number one. But however, real estate is very unique in terms that you cannot actually ignore the human aspect. The human aspect actually will give you the 80% of the headache. All right? It's not the property. Property easy in numbers. Okay? Because there's a lot of anomaly that we don't know when it comes to this species called the Homo sapiens. So I think I've shared enough. I hope that it gives you a little bit of preparation. I'm not discouraging you to invest in property, okay? If you want to invest in property, please go ahead. I'm just giving you is like things that a lot of times you do not know, all right? And when you know, you realize that, wow, it's taking out so much of your capital and your opportunity cost. Then you need to do something about it, all right? You go to that and a lot more other topics, a lot more other stories in other videos to come. But for now, I think this is enough. So anybody out there, if you got a property to buy, sell, or rent, my number is down below. This is Kenny here. Just click down, link down below and we start talking and see how if I could help you with your property. This is Kenny here from Property Stories and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.